Welcome to the #Attitudeshield podcast, the true mental operating script rewriting program designed for those looking for a change from within. No more hype or sugar-coated promises. This is to-the-point guidance on how to change the way we think to grab the life we always wanted. Are you ready for the change? Now your host, David L. Parker.
Hey, welcome to #Attitudeshield. I am David L. Parker, your mentor. We decided to do things a little bit different today. We're not only going to do them where everybody can see, which is basically what we're doing different. Instead of just being a podcast and which, is that something you can say, just a podcast? No, we're here in the studio, in my office in the Black Hills of South Dakota. It's a beautiful day. And this episode is coming out, of course, on Friday. This week, we've been talking in depth about what do you reflect? What do you reflect on the world? A lot of people, what do they reflect? Are they the pity, party, pain projectors? Say that 5 times fast, like Michelle said the other day. Are they the people that you're hurting so much that you just have to force the whole world, force it to be in as much pain as you are in? Is that the way this works? Is that how we make progress? I mean, I'd hate to think that that's the only way that people can express themselves. I'd hate to think that that's the only way that people can do things. But hey, we're a combination of our entire life experiences, right? And here you are. You're in the studio. You get to see me look around on my computer screen. You get to see me ad lib, riff, do whatever the heck I do, live. Memorex, I guess. It's not really live by the time you see it, but it's all good. The point here I'm trying to make is, what do you reflect on the world? What do you reflect? Are you trying to impact a person? We talk about it all the time. If you and I, we impact one person, and then that person impacts one person, okay? So I impact one, that's 2. That person impacts one, now we're 4, right? It doubles to 8, so on and so forth. You've heard the old comment, what would you rather have, $1 million or a penny compounded daily? Well, that's exactly what affecting people is all about. That's exactly, it's very strange today to be doing this. If you listen to me just on the podcast, you're going to find it even stranger, because all of a sudden I find myself talking to a computer screen instead of just talking, which is a complete different way of doing things. I mean, I got my timer up on the computer here. I got things set up the way I usually set them up. But you know what the difference is? Due to popular request, due to people like yourself saying, hey, we'd like to see you when you're talking, here I am. So not only can you hear this on the podcast, wherever you download your podcast, but you can also check it out on YouTube under #Attitudeshield, YouTube. Of course, if you're on the Facebook, you just clicked on that. You just keep going. No big deal. But anyway, we're talking about pain. We're talking about what you project on the earth, what you project on the world, what you project on other people. See, if you're going to be a leader, and why do I talk about leaders a lot? I talk about leaders a lot because you either one or the other. You either lead or you follow. You either blaze a trail or you go along. You either moving forward or you're being dragged. So if you have a job that's 9 to 5, 7 to 3, whatever it is, and you're getting paid so many dollars per hour, that's awesome. We all need to be gainfully moving forward. But if you want to be a leader, if you want to drive forward, what are you projecting on the world? What are you projecting on the planet? What are you saying to people when you talk? What is it? What is your message? Are you reflecting the beautiful things in your life? Are you reflecting the amazing, beautiful, wonderful things in your life? Are you a reflection of the blue sky, the mountains, the desert, whatever it is you see? Or are you just projecting the pain, the things that, you got screwed over? Guess what? Every one of us in some time has been screwed over by something. And every one of us, to include me, has probably, no probablys, let's be straight up, remember, no sugarcoating, has screwed somebody over. Are you going to project that pain? Is that what this is about? Are you going to project the pain? Or do you want to project beauty, love, the things that are great about life, the things that are amazing about life, the things that we cannot do without? I mean, it's such a beautiful world. Now, I get it. There's a lot of political stuff right now that's just going crazy, especially here in my beloved United States. But are you a reflection of that? Or are you a reflection of whom you wish to be? We've talked about manifesting. We've talked about how you have to do things to make something happen. You can't just sit there in your kitchen and yell, I'm an Oscar Mayer ding dong, and someday you're chocolate covered and full of cream. It doesn't work that way. If you don't take action, nothing happens. We've talked about how if you speak a dream, but you don't write it down, you don't do anything about it, it's just a shared hallucination. We don't need shared hallucinations. We have enough of that going on right now, don't you think? What we need is more people willing to project the beauty of their lives. You know, the other day I got a comment on LinkedIn about my podcast where I said, you know, the pity party pain projectors. And she said, can you say that 4 times fast? Let's try. Pity party pain projectors, pity party pain projectors, pity party pain projectors, pity party pain projectors. Yes, Michelle, I can say it 4 times fast. But I want to talk about her. Michelle is probably one of the most resilient, positively stubborn. Now, what is positively stubborn? Positively stubborn is when you actually do things positive all the time and you're too stubborn not to be positive. It's a great thing to have. It's uncommon. It's not normal, but it's a great thing to have. And I've always admired that about her. I mean, she's been through some stuff. She has overcome more things than I have ever had to face, and I think that's incredible. And I salute her. But she's always projecting positivity, even when things were rough. Can you imagine what kind of mental energy it takes to project things when everything's rough? I mean, rough? How about when your life sucks? You ever had it to where your life sucks, where something is not going the way you want it to go? Has that ever happened to you? Of course, it's happened to me. You know what I mean? I found it to be quite a revelation when it comes to what I project onto the world. When I discovered the place that I wanted to escape from is the exact same place that I wanted to escape to. Because we live in a prison in our mind if we're not learning to change our perspective. So you may change something. In other words, you might be one of these people that's pissed off at your job. So you quit and you go get another job. Not uncommon, very, very common. 20-year career people don't really exist that much anymore. They're not really normal, if you will. And those people, so they quit their job and they go looking for something else because of the pain. Remember, we're talking about, do you project pain? Does your perspective, the way you look at things, is it all about the dark, all about the rough side? Excuse me, time for a drink. Is that what you're doing? Your perspective of how you look at something decides whether you're living free in your own mind or you're in your own personal prison. And there's nothing I could say that I think, especially on how to rewrite your operating script, which is teaching you how to talk to you, because you will talk to nobody more than you ever talk to yourself. Not possible, not probable, not going to happen, okay? We talk to ourselves. Every thought you have in your head, every voice you think you hear, every time you talk like this. Right now, guess who I'm talking to? I'm talking to you, who's listening to me or watching me, but I'm also talking to me because I got these 2 holes on the side of my head, and they're hearing everything I say. If you don't learn to speak to yourself in a manner that gives you freedom, you are going to be a prisoner in your own mind. It's all up to your perspective. It's 100%. There's nothing can change that. If there was a magic pill that I could come up with, that I could figure out how to get to some doctors to develop, that could help us get away from the prison of our own mind, do you not think that I would do it? I'd do it in a heartbeat. I wish there was somebody who could come up with that thing. Now, I want you to understand something. I want you to hear me clearly on this. You can escape any prison. Any prison. There has never been a prison built by humankind that your mind cannot escape. Doesn't exist. If you're having a bad time, but you think about a beautiful thing, what happens? When you're in pain, don't you try to take yourself away from the pain? Don't you think you try to drive yourself in a direction away from the pain? Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? It'd be ridiculous not to, right? Because that's part of the human condition. We have the ability to escape any mental prison we get in the way if we're willing to change our perspective, which means we can no longer be a pity party pain projector. We have to be somebody reflecting the beauty in our lives. Do you have beauty in your lives? You better believe you do. Did you wake up today? Did you see a friend? Say hello to your significant other? How about a child? What have you done today that makes today beautiful? What have you done today that makes it beautiful? I'm telling you, there's 1,000 things going on in your life right now that are beautiful. And if there aren't anything that's particularly beautiful, where you're saying to yourself, you know what, he's right. That's one of my favorite things right there. Look out your window. It's one of the reasons I moved here to the Black Hills. I could look out my window. Right out my window here is beautiful pine trees. Now, to me, the most beautiful sound in the world is the wind going through the top of the pine trees, that whooshing sound. To me, that's just beautiful. I mean, that's right up there with the sound of my baby crying, or, I'm talking about an infant, or my wife's voice, these things, talking to my sons, talking to any of my children, talking to you. But the wind in the pine trees, I mean, I'm sitting right here and I get to look out this window right here. I'm going to pull up this blind, right? Be even more. It's just pine trees and these big lodgepole pines. I want to reflect the beauty that I see out my window. I want to reflect the great things that happen. I want to reflect the fact that this morning I had breakfast with my beautiful, beautiful, amazing wife and my 2 grandsons. And I want to reflect the smiles on their faces. I want to reflect the things that they do. I don't want to reflect pain. I got enough pain. Hey, by the way, just so you know, if you get a kick out of what I'm doing, if you like #AttitudeShield, can you do me a favor? Can you click on the link and buy me a cup of coffee? I know it sounds cliche, right? But I'm serious. There's a little link here on the video that says buy me a cup of coffee. And that's how you support the show. And I appreciate it very much. Also, and even in a bigger manner on how to support the show, could you share it? Social media is huge. It's amazing. It's a powerful, powerful tool where we can influence each other. Remember, we talk about if one person influences one person and they double that every day. Imagine how many people we can influence. Imagine how many people we can help. Imagine how many people's lives we can change if we just share. Say hi to somebody. But if you share this on your Facebook, you share this on your social media, maybe somebody will hear it. It's like one of my things. I do not post. I do not do this podcast. I do not do what I do for the thousands of people who don't like what I do. I do it just in case there's one person who will say, wow, I really appreciate that. I needed that today. You ever been that person? That's what I'm talking about when we impact each other, right? It's just a huge part of everything we do. It's sort of like there's a difference between being liked and being valued. Now, a lot of people will project the pain of thinking nobody likes them. I'm not really sure why popularity is so popular. I don't understand why what people think of you is so important. It's what you think of yourself. Go back to the podcast, go back to my show about self-worth. Self-worth has nothing to do with anybody else's stuff. It has nothing to do with anybody else's way they're looking at stuff. It's way more important, in my opinion, to people to see the value in what you are, who you are, what you bring to the table, than ever being liked. I mean, come on, we're so unique. We've talked about this before. Let's talk about it again. How unique are you? Let's see. 7.8 billion people on the planet. And another what? 10 billion have lived before that or more. I don't have any numbers in front of me. I didn't do research. Remember, we do a lot of rifting here. And there's never been a you. There's never been a me. Thank goodness there's never been a me. There's never been a you before. You are so unique. It's like a snowflake, not the name they call people because, people are silly. A normal snowflake falling here in the Black Hills. None of them are the same. It's a fingerprint. Why is your fingerprint the only one of yours? How come nobody else has a fingerprint just like you? What is your perspective on that? What is your how do you look at it? How can you devalue that? You're so unique that there's never, ever, ever been you before. There's never going to be one after you. Isn't that incredible? This hodgepodge of DNA, this cooking pot, this melding pot of all the people back behind us that came together to build you. And people don't like you? Who cares? Hang out with the people who value you. Now, how do you find the people who value you? Go back and listen to the podcast about Inner Circle. I've done like 6. I want to talk more about Inner Circle right now because I don't want you to be a pity party, painful projector. How can you stop pity parties? Well, first of all, you change your perspective. Second of all, who's in your inner circle? What kind of people do you hang out with? Now, I got asked that yesterday, and I laugh because it's very fun when somebody asks me, well, what kind of person you like to hang out with? Well, I like to hang out with people who are happy-go-lucky, out-loud dreamers who've had some success looking to do something more. A second success, a third success, a fourth success, looking to impact people, looking to change people's lives. That's the people that I like to hang out with. So guess what? How many of those positive, out-loud dreamers do you think are in my inner circle? How many of those people are around me to make sure that I never do a pity party and project the pain of life? Because they're not going to put up with it. They don't want to hear it because they're positive, out loud dreamers. They're speaking out loud. They're expressive. They're uppity. They're moving things, and they're taking action. Action, 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 action. You know how many people I've heard say, well, I'd like to start a podcast. And I'm like, what's stopping you? Well, I don't have the right mic. Well, you ever heard of Amazon? You ever heard of any kind of store? Well, I don't have the right camera. Well, why not? You never been to Walmart? I mean, I'm not picking these stores for any reason. I'm just saying, if you want to do something, all you got to do is take action because that'll change your perspective on things. If you really want to do something and you're not doing it, that's a form of pity party. Well, I want to be thin. Well, guess what? 3 days ago, I started down the journey. I'm down 4.5 pounds, right? We're going for 100. And now that we're live, or at least on video, you'll be able to watch and monitor and keep me accountable. Because remember, we do #Attitudeshield, your mind's operating script rewriting program, Monday through Friday. So we'll have shows all the time, and you'll be able to help me be accountable to you and to myself. That's impacting people. Being accountable to yourself is a perspective that you have to grab. It's the way you look at the world. What do you bring? What do you offer? What is your unseen value? That's so important. The value of what we have that people don't see. Why is that important? Because I've told you, in self-worth, your self-worth is not connected to anybody or anything except you. You know what I mean? It's like your unseen value. Look at the media today. Look at the average person today. Look how people do things today. And they will find the dirt on anybody. You know, if anybody was to ever say to me, well, you should run for president, I would say, you've lost your mind, because the media would have a heyday with all the dirt they could dig up on me. I would be ambushed by, is it true in high school you did this? Is it true when you were 20 you did that? Is it true when you were 25 you blah, 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 right? I would be standing going, yeah. Why? Because my operating script back then, my perspective, my perception, the way I looked at things was wrong, bad, not good for me. But it's what I knew. I didn't know how to upgrade my script. Anyway, we can all find the dirt on anyone. If you want to find dirt, you're going to find dirt. If you want to find negative people, you're going to attract negative people. They're going to come from everywhere. Why don't we try to be impactful? Why don't we try to find the gold, the value, the worth of a person? How come we're not looking for that? How come there's not a news show that's talking about these amazing human beings all around us, 7.8 billion of them, by the way, that have something unique and value about themselves? I guarantee Every single person out there has a value. Every single person is valuable. Every single person has something to offer. How could they not? Think about it. You're so unique. You're 1 out of 7.8 billion. You got better odds by a long shot to win the lottery twice in the same week than you do ever having another one of you. Because another one of you is impossible. It's not just improbable. It's impossible. But everybody wants to find the dirt. Everybody wants to drag people into their pity party of pain projection, right? You know why? Weak people want revenge. Weak people want revenge. Strong people forgive. But intelligent people who understand the value of other people, they ignore. I think that learning to ignore things is more powerful than just being able to forgive. Now, forgive is huge. I told you, it's a superpower. When you forgive somebody and you demand from yourself that you no longer have the right to get angry at that person ever again, that's your superpower. You know, I've had some people do some things to me, and I guarantee that I have screwed up and done some things to people. But I've had some people that hurt me in a way that I couldn't imagine ever letting it go, let alone forgiving it. Then one day when I figured out, you know what? Not only am I going to let it go, not only am I going to change me, I no longer reserve the right to be mad about what they did. And the freedom I found was incredible. Incredible. Probably one of the biggest breakthroughs I ever had. So if you got somebody in your life, this pity party pain projector, because you're thinking about them, and they hurt you, let it go. Let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go, and let go of the right to ever get mad about that again. Then be intelligent enough to ignore them if they try to do something again. Watch your inner circle. Remember, figure out whom you are. What are the kind of people you want to hang out with? The pity party painful projectors? Or the upbeat, ready to go, happy-go-lucky folks? I like the latter. I like the positive speaking, dreaming out loud, action taken, looking for another success people. That's who I like. I like you too. Talk to you soon. You know what? Don't forget, if you enjoyed the show, buy me a cup of coffee. Whoo, I like coffee. See you next week. Next week? Ha! See, we haven't done this stuff live. We haven't done this stuff like this. It's a whole new ball game. May have to learn how to move this camera a little bit. Look at that. Chop my own head off. Right? We're going to learn things as we go. But hey, thanks for being here. I am David L. Parker, the #Attitudeshield mentor, helping you rewrite your operating script, because you'll never talk to anybody more than you talk to you. So you need to learn how to talk. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Attitudeshield, your double dose of espresso for your attitude. Check us out on Facebook and on the web at www.attitudeshield.com. Again, thanks for spending this time with us. Between now and when we talk again, keep those shields up, eyes on the target, and always be moving towards your dreams.